When the day started, or even when I went to bed last night, I did not think that it was going to start with this. I was hoping we were beyond this. I was hoping we were done with this, but deep down, I knew it would rear its ugly head yet again. That it's going to be a long time before we're actually beyond this. No matter how many times I say we have to turn the page, everybody should. But don't look now, except that Packers Twitter is ablaze once again this morning. Seriously, if you're trying to avoid the drama, avoid Packer Twitter, because once again, they are all over Aaron Rodgers. Yes, somehow we are still doing this. And no, this time, everybody is not freaking out about that tiny, minor little ding that Aaron picked up at a voluntary Jets practice, or the fact that he even showed up to a voluntary Jets practice at all. Scandalous as that might be to Packer fan, I know. But no, we're not talking about that. Nor are we talking about the fact that he went viral this morning because he got caught over the weekend getting down at the Taylor Swift show at MetLife. Something else that's not new, something he and I talked about years and years ago. He is still just soaking up the NYC, still living his best life. That was low-key the single biggest banger of the weekend at MetLife, by the way. At least if you ask a Jets fan, because that is exactly the song the Jet fan wants to hear right about now. The Jets won the Super Bowl. No, but that's not why Packer Twitter is ablaze yet again. The actual reason Aaron is back in the headlines is because he gave a bunch of really interesting quotes to The Athletic about his view of what went down this offseason. Or to Packer fan, infuriating quotes. So now Packer fan is fully triggered all over again. So what do you say we do this one last time? What do you say we have one last discussion, one last conversation about the breakup? And then, Green Bay, Wisco, we all have to move on. You all have to move on. Everybody has to move on. Packer fan, I'm with you. You know I'm part of the fam. I'm doing this for you. I'm over it. I think everybody else is pretty much over it. But if my fellow Wisconsinites have made anything clear over the past few weeks and the past few hours, it's that they're definitely not over it. So can we try to put this thing to rest once and for all? Can we do it this morning? Because now we have Aaron's full side of the story. Remember, we already had the Packers side of the story from Brian Gutekunst. Goody's story was that he could not get in touch with Aaron, could not get an answer from Aaron, so he had no choice but to start exploring trade options. So that was Goody back in March saying we couldn't really find him, so I had to do my job. Now, at that time, that was pretty tough to believe. Pretty tough to believe that the biggest decision the team is ever going to make about their best player ever came down to a game of phone tag gone wrong. But that's just me. That was Goody's take. That's my reaction. This morning we get Aaron's side. Aaron to The Athletic. And I want to say this. Don't say to me, hey, Rome, Aaron is the one who's keeping this going. The Athletic reached out to him. The Athletic wanted to talk to him. The Athletic wanted his side of the story. And he responded. His reaction was, quote, did Brian text me more than I texted him? Yeah. But did I ghost him? No. I texted him back. There was back and forths that we had, and so this is the story you want to go with? You're going to stand on this hill of austerity and say that arguably in the conversation of the best player in your franchise history, you're going to say, I couldn't get a hold of him, and that's why we had to move on? Like, come on, man.
Come on.
Just tell the truth. You wanted to move on. You didn't like the fact that we didn't communicate all the time. Like, listen, I talk to the people that I like. End of quote. Damn. That says all of it right there. And I mean everything. Including just plainly stating in black and white that he does not like Goody. Guess what? You know what's about the least surprising thing ever? That. Nothing could be further from news than bad blood that exists between Goody and Aaron. Especially since we all know exactly where that bad blood originates from. The exact date, the exact time, the exact place. AKA the date, the time, and the place that the organization traded up to draft another first-round QB. And then we got some fresh details today about that night from Aaron's perspective. Rodgers said, quote, "That's when I went and poured myself a little glass of añejo and waited for somebody to call me." End of quote. That's really interesting. I mean, I thought he would have poured a little glass of scotch. I'm glad it was the añejo. I wonder if it was my 42. Anyway, I would have pulled the exact same move. The hell else was he supposed to do? What would you think or do if you were Aaron Rodgers in that spot? Throw a party? Congratulate the organization? Try to get Jordan Love's number to welcome him? Seriously, how was he supposed to react? They had just gotten blown out, but played in the conference championship game. They were just in the conference championship game, so they were still that close. You know, Aaron was thinking, all right, let's draft somebody who can help us immediately. Let's get back to the Super Bowl. Instead, they drafted his replacement, and they moved up to get his replacement, and they didn't tell him. Of course he was pissed. Who wouldn't be? And then when the Packers finally did call him, they wanted to put it all on Goody, not on Matt LaFleur. That way Rodgers wouldn't hate his coach and could maintain a positive working relationship with LaFleur. And while Rodgers did the professional thing and he did handle his business, he's no idiot. He knows the coach signed off on that move as well. He knows there's no way that they draft the quarterback of the future and the guy to replace their Hall of Fame quarterback if the coach is not in favor of it as well. There's no way LaFleur didn't know about that. To which Rodgers said in this piece, quote, "And I said, I don't care, honestly. Like, they made the pick. They all signed off on it." End of quote. In other words, how stupid do I look to you? Do you really expect me to believe that a decision that important was made in a vacuum without the head coach's input? Do you think I'm a moron? It just couldn't be any more clear that it was never going to end well after all of that went down, especially when the following offseason, Rodgers reportedly did this. According to a source associated with the team who was granted anonymity to candidly discuss the sensitive dynamics between the front office and the star quarterback early in the 2021 offseason, Dunn, Rodgers' agent, called Packers president Mark Murphy with a request: fire Gutekunst or trade Rodgers. Murphy did neither. Months later, news broke that Rodgers wanted out of Green Bay, but the Packers held firm. Quote, end of quote. So upon seeing that this morning, Packer fan was again all juiced up that the franchise did not fire Goody and did not acquiesce to the prima donna Rodgers. You know, because Goody is so much more important to that franchise than their best player ever was. I mean, hell, how is it that there's no street named after Goody yet? When do they unveil Goody Way? You know, they could put it right adjacent to the intersection of Goody Boulevard and Goody Drive, right around Goody Circle. I mean, it couldn't be any more clear what happened here. The Packers moved on from Aaron Rodgers, and they actually really did it during the 2020 draft. It's just that he didn't go. He didn't leave. They moved on from him, but he didn't go. But they really did do it the day they picked Jordan Love, the day they moved up to take Jordan Love, the day that they moved up and didn't tell Rodgers about their plan. And then things just got gradually more toxic, more uncomfortable, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Awkward. And they just couldn't sustain it. Not ultimately. Things got out of alignment. The train jumped off the rails. The breakup was inevitable. It was never going to end well. But even all that said, it could have been so much uglier. It still could be so much uglier. Like Aaron didn't trash the organization or the town or the fans or his teammates or anything like that. In fact, after it went down, he played some of his best ball of his entire Hall of Fame career, winning back-to-back MVPs. He didn't shut down. Like Packer fans, to me, this is so key. Had they done him like that and then taken his ball and went home, or shut down, or let it get in his head, or impact his play negatively, then we'd have a conversation. But none of that happened. It made him even better. He didn't go scorched earth on anyone. He pretty much is just saying, I don't like Goody. I don't like the guy. The guy played some of the best ball that a quarterback has ever played. Packer fan, if you want to come up in here and say, hey, Rome, the guy couldn't have handled it any worse. He went right into the tank. No, he didn't. He played some of the best ball in the history of the NFL. He played incredibly after it all went down. All he's really saying is, I don't like Goody, which again is no giant surprise. Not hard to figure out why he doesn't like Goody. So my question is, why is this still an issue? Both sides got what they wanted. It was time. The Packers got some decent compensation out of this mess. Jordan Love got some quality time behind Aaron. They need to find out what they have in Jordan Love. Aaron needed to move on. They all win. They all got what they wanted. Yeah, and as far as Jordan Love goes, he got quality time behind Aaron, just like Aaron got some quality time behind Brett. But unlike Brett, or even Big Ben, Aaron is not rooting against the guy who followed him. Aaron's got nothing against the next guy. He likes the next guy. Aaron said, quote, Love gets a chance to blaze his own trails, be his own man, and lead in the way he best sees fit. Take the good things he learned from me, things he would do differently, do them differently. That's what I did when I took over. He went on, quote, obviously, the team felt good with moving forward with him as the starter, and that's how the team felt in 2008 with me after I showed in 07 that I could get the job done. And history just repeated itself in that sense. End of quote. You know, none of that Big Ben, hey man, I hope Tiny Hand sucks. None of that. So there you go, Packer fan. It's all good. I know you're all bent all over again this morning, but there's nothing to be bent about. Things went sideways with your best player ever. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, maybe somehow, some way, in 5 years, 10 years, 1,000 years, they could all get on the same page once again, but it happened. And honestly, it happened a long time ago. It didn't happen just this offseason. Everybody got what they wanted. So can we please just move on? And don't tell me it's Aaron keeping this thing going. Again, it was The Athletic that called him. He didn't, cryptically release something. He didn't go on McAfee's show and then let loose. They called him. They wanted him. They found him. A Packers beat writer for The Athletic found him. Why do you think they kept it going? Because Packer fan is keeping it going. This isn't Aaron. He's good. He's happy. And I know that's one of the reasons why you're so pissed, because he's happy. Listen. I'm not even saying Packer fan. And believe me, I will be in Wisconsin within a month. I love you. I love Wisconsin. I'm not saying you have to root for Aaron. I'm not even saying you have to like Aaron. I'm not even saying that it's easy to hear Aaron fantasizing about the Jets winning the Super Bowl. I get it. But at some point, you got to move on. You got to move on. Walk away, don't look back. Aaron has moved on. So has everybody else. No need to keep this going. No need to keep hating on the guy. He answered a few questions. He told his side of the story. We should be done now. I know everybody always wants the last word, but we should be done now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.